Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Randi Shannon, naturopathic doctor here in Miami, Florida. And I have Dr. Joel Wallach, author of, I don't even like to say the number 2 best-selling book, but you are actually the author, because to me it's like right up there with number 1, because you're here living, walking, breathing, and in practice today. And that book is Dead Doctors Don't Lie, translated into 9 different languages all around the world. And every time I go and sit with somebody, even in the medical profession, like I was last night, Dr. Wallach, I tell them about all of the things that you have done, and it just blows their mind. And then I get their attention. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again here on this call. I'm the luckiest girl in the world because I get to work with you. I get to have these conversations with you, private conversations, where I just pick your brain and you give me all of this knowledge, and I love it. So, Dr. Wallach, some of the things that wow these people that are in the medical profession, last night was somebody who goes into surgeries all over Miami, Coral Gables, etc., and he gets the whole room prepped and does some other things, has to do with bones. And I told him about you being responsible, one of the couple people responsible for getting selenium into prenatals. Do you want to talk about that really quick?
Well, yeah. Basically, the short version is what I learned over 32,000 autopsies was that cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden death syndrome were all caused by a deficiency at different stages of development of the trace mineral selenium, and received the Klaus Schwarz Award for that. It's kind of like almost like a Nobel Prize in medicine. Just very, very proud of that, the Klaus Schwarz Award in 2011 for those things. And the courts ruled in April 16, 2003 that they had to put the selenium into the baby formulas, it's like Enfamil, Similac, and because they only had 3 minerals in there. Well, there's 60 that are essential, and the deficiency of that one, in fact, I was reading a little article today, some medical doctors saying, it was a miracle that sudden death syndrome has disappeared, and it disappeared. In fact, a year later, April 3rd, 2004, it came out that a front cover page of the Charlotte Observer that we don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has vanished from the state of North Carolina. Then 3 months later, it came out. It was in the newspaper let's see here, I think it was in the state of Texas. We don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has vanished. And then 3 months later, every newspaper in the world came out and said, we don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has dropped significantly by 85 to 95% all over the world. Well, that's because they had put that one mineral, selenium, into the baby formulas. And it was that sort of cardiomyopathy heart disease, that sudden heart death that we see in animals, we'd known in animals since the 1970s, 30-something years earlier, that it was a simple selenium deficiency. And I had so many autopsies that I could prove it to the federal court, and the federal judges ruled that that nutrient had to be put in baby formulas. So very proud of that. And now you talk to a medical student and say, well, sudden death syndrome is like 1 in 30,000 babies. Where back when I was in school, it was 1 in 300. And so
it's amazing. It's amazing. What an incredible thing that you did. And that should be known all over the world, which is why I'm bringing it up, because it should be known all over the world that you were responsible for making that happen, and you have saved lives, thousands and thousands of lives, just in that 1 year alone. When they went in.
That's right. Just for that one nutrient added to baby formulas, we saved probably millions of kids every year.
Yes. And I think everyone in the whole medical profession should know that and hear that. And just that alone gives you credibility like no other. And then
here's what I'm going to do for you.
Book. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Randi, here's what I'm going to do for you. I found an original copy of the announcement of me getting the Klaus Schwarz Medalist Award, Gold Medal Award.
Okay.
And it has all the information in there. It's like 4 pages. It was published under Springer Healthcare, okay, and reprinted, reprinted in 2011, Biological Trace Element Research. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make maybe 1,000 copies of this and give you a bunch of them so you can send them to appropriate places, okay?
I will. I absolutely will. Now, Dr. Wallach,
it's unbelievable. So when you see it in print, they have to pay attention.
They have to pay attention. They do. Now, I have a copy of Dead Doctors Don't Lie in front of me right now, and it says in the top right corner, 350 million. Every author on the planet would love to have that kind of a number. 350 million Dead Doctors Don't Lie audio tapes sold worldwide. And this was...
it's over 600 million now.
It's over 600 million. I mean, authors everywhere. So I open it up. It says copyright 1999. Second edition in 04. Then 13, 14, 14, 14, 15, and 16. I don't even know what year I have. I guess I have the 16. And this is, to me, my health Bible. I am not joking. I take this book everywhere I go. It goes on trips with me. I swear to you, I sleep with this book at night because I'll be reading through it, fall asleep, and I've got it underlined. I've got, and this is my second copy, actually, because I loaned one and never got it back, which is not surprising because who wouldn't want to keep that book? So I know you have great things to talk about. We've been talking about the quote-unquote pandemic for the last, few weeks. But you gave me some information where you said the numbers are rising. So the floor is yours. Yes. I would love for you to go into it.
Yeah, well, the reason why, Dr. Randi, the reason why the numbers are rising is that we had Christmas, we had the New Year's, and everybody's giving up their mask and not washing their hands and not distancing and not supplementing because the numbers were kind of slowing down a little bit, and so they spiked again. Now, as of yesterday, the number of infections in the United States alone that were documented by hospitals and private offices and clinics and laboratories, okay, the numbers, this is the USA alone, 26,200,948 infections, 446,327 dead. And then worldwide, the numbers are 103,474,377 infections and 2,313,197 197 dead. Now, this is all because a guy by the name of Anthony Fauci a year and a half ago said that this COVID-19 is a nothing, the common flu is worse than that. We have him saying this. We have the actual recording of him saying this over the air, on TV, on radio, that this is a nothing. Just wash your hands and wear a mask and socially distance, and it'll be a nothing. And what did we get from it in the United States? 26 million infections and 446,000 dead. Arlington Cemetery, which has our military dead from the Civil War forward, has only 400,000 graves. And in 1 year's time, we have 446,000 dead because all we did was wash our hands and wear a mask and distance. Now, what should have been done, of course, was everybody should have gotten off all the wheat, brown, and oats so they could absorb nutrition, take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for their body weight, take our colloidal silver, which I've been doing 2 droppers full, a dropper full to the left of my tongue, and a dropper full to the right of my tongue, a half hour before meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then a half hour again before bedtime. We have a Longevity hand sanitizer, and I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients twice a day, okay, for 74 years, okay? Okay. And I'm going on. I'll be 82 in a couple of months. And Dr. Randi, I don't have any health challenges. I don't have any blood pressure. I don't have any diabetes. I don't have any arthritis. I don't have any thyroid problems. I don't have any memory problems. I don't have any neurological problems of any kind. I do not have any kidney failure. I'm not on dialysis. I don't have any irritable bowel syndrome. I don't have any skin problems. I don't have any lupus. I don't have any of that stuff. And I'm 82 years old, and I can whip anybody, even if they're twice my weight, because I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 75 years. And, is one of those things where I'm living proof that what I've been saying works.
I know people half your age that have all of those things.
Well, yeah, I see them on the autopsy table all the time, unfortunately. Let me give you a couple of numbers here which demonstrate what I'm trying to talk about. Let's compare the Ojibwe Indians, a little band of Ojibwe Indians who originated in Florida. And in 1600, in the year 1600, they migrated to upper peninsula of Minnesota where the lakes are. They began to eat wild rice, been eating wild rice for 400 years. They never switched over to wheat, barley, rye oats. They stayed on wild rice. They're still eating wild rice. They have 0 infections from COVID-19 and only 0 dead and only 27 infections. The Navajos, who in 1860 were converted from what they call the Three Sisters, maize, a.k.a. corn, beans, and squash, to wheat. It was given to them by the Scottish people immigrating to the United States. And they switched over to that like 100%. And at the same time that the Ojibways, who are rice-eating Native Americans, have 0 dead and 27 infections, the Navajos in Arizona alone have 838 dead and 24,000 infections. Is 838 more than 0? Mm-hmm. It's 24,000 more than 27. It's 1,000 more in both cases. Now, let me give you one or two more. Okay, let me give you one or two more. Okay. Let's look at, here. Let's look at the Nicoyans, from Costa Rica. They're part of the 5 blue zones, right?
Yes.
These are the 5 people that were determined to be the lowest of the people on Earth, And in Nicoya, Costa Rica, This little band of Indians, they have 4 dead and 82 infections. They have 24,000 population. So let's look at kind of another place that has 24,000 people. Let's look at, let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's go with Florida. They only have 22,000 people, Florida, and they have 1,727,000 infections.
Oof.
And they have dead 27,129. And yet they have 2 million less people than the Nicoyans in Costa Rica. So what's the difference? Well, the Nicoyans, live essentially where they can get minerals, seaweed, rice, squash, and corn. And Florida has almost 50-60% of their people are Native Americans who eat wheat, barley, rye, and oats. They also have a high population of black people. They have a high population of Latinos, all of whom eat wheat and don't supplement.
Yeah, I see it every day.
So that's why Florida has 27,000 dead and 1.7 million infections, and a larger population than the Nicoyan Indians in Costa Rica have 4 dead and 82 infections. And I could go on. Let me give you one more. I got to give you one more. This is too much fun here. Let's go with Texas and Taiwan. Texas has 29 million people, and Taiwan has 24 million people. Texas has 2,392,000 infections and 36,000 dead from COVID-19. Taiwan has 24 million people. They have 8 dead, not 8,000, not 800, just 8 dead, and 911 infections. Is 911 less than 2.4 million? Is 8 less than 36,000? So what's the difference between Taiwan and Texas? Well, Texas, again, is 40 to 50% black, Latino, and Native Americans, all of whom eat wheat, barley, rye, and oats and don't supplement. And Taiwan, again, is an island, and they live on what? Rice. They live on rice, seaweed, and corn, and beans, and squash.
So just, like the tough attitude of being a Texan and all about freedom and patriotism isn't going to save your life.
Well, it might kill you because, you can do whatever you want. If you choose poorly, that's a famous statement. I chose poorly, right? If you choose poorly, you're in trouble. I'm going to give you one more. I got to give you this one. This is England, who is the biggest wheat eaters of anybody. They are the ones who spread wheat around the world so their sailors everywhere could get bread and that kind of stuff when they got there. They have 67 million people in the UK. We're talking about England, Scotland, Ireland, and let's see, there's another one in there. But at any rate, there's 67 million people. Okay. They have 3.8 million infections and 106,000 dead. Taiwan lives on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed. That's Thailand. We're talking about Thailand now. 67 million people. They have 77 dead and 18,000 infections. Is 77 less than 106,000? Is 18,000 less than 3.8 million? It's the diet, okay? It's the diet. It has nothing to do with racial stuff. They say, oh, yeah, the poor Native Americans and the black people and the Latinos are hardest hit from the COVID. And they're blaming it on their race. It is not the race thing. It's their diet and lack of supplementation.
And you know what, Dr. Wallach, just to take that even a little bit further, because you say it's not the race thing, really define that, because you have written a book called Black Gene Lies, and sickle cell anemia is what they said was strictly to the black race. So to educate people more on that, did not sickle cell anemia also exist in animals just under a different name?
Okay, well, sickle cell anemia exists in every species of animals. The highest levels are in white-tailed deer and elk and moose and those kind of antler-bearing deer kind of species. And, of course, it's found in every white population, every yellow population in the world. But it's not called sickle cell anemia other than in black people. The same exact disease everywhere else, whether it's in animals or other races, is called thalassemia, because you can't have a black gene in all these people and animals. So, the black men would be very busy breeding all these deer and elk and stuff like that. And so so they gave it a different name, thalassemia. Okay? And so what it is mama is deficient in a nutrient that makes the stem cells for hemoglobin in the embryo.
Okay.
And so when the baby's born, it can have 2%, 5%, 10%, 20%. When you get above 20%, it's really a very, very deadly disease. When you have only 2% sickle cells, you have it, you have the trait, as they would say, but it's not going to kill you. But they believe it's a genetic thing. No, it's a nutritional deficiency early in embryonic life when the stem cells in the bone marrow are forming that make red blood cells and hemoglobin. Okay? And so it doesn't matter whether you're a white-tailed deer, a black-tailed deer, a moose or an elk, or a black guy or a yellow guy or a white guy or a red guy, it doesn't matter. If you're deficient during that stage of embryonic life, you're going to get sickle cell anemia, a.k.a.
thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, whatever.
Thalassemia. There you go. You got it. Thalassemia. Okay.
So my point here is that they're blaming the lunacy of people dying on this pandemic of it's targeting blacks and Latinos, just like they say sickle cell only targets blacks. It's not true. They're not looking at the whole picture. You have actually now painted the whole picture, which is the diet and the lack of nutrition.
That's correct. And I can give you, some more information here if I can flip to my right page here.
Okay.
And here we go. And let's go to the vaccines. Okay. And let's go to Merck. They were supposed to be, the big pharmaceutical company. They were coming out in like August with 2 vaccines. It was like the greatest thing since the Bible. And they pulled them off the market before they even released them. They said, we're sorry. They're not going to hurt anybody. We're not pulling them because they're going to hurt anybody. But they have proved to give inadequate response, inadequate protection. That was Merck and their 2 vaccines. Then a couple of months later, Johnson & Johnson came out and said, hey, we're here. We're good. In the world, we have 60% protection. In the United States, we have 72% protection from our vaccine. And they have 65%. Oh, let me back up. They have 100% of their study group was over age 65. Now, we're still trying to get the data from Merck. I'm sure they had a high percentage over age 65. Well, let's look at Pfizer. They came out and they said, we have 95% success rate in protection. And they have only 21% over age 65. And 81% were white, almost no black people. Now let's look at Moderna. They said, we have 94% protection. Okay, 79% were white, and only 9% were black. Well, if 9% were black, why would they do that when most of the people getting the disease and dying were black? Why would they only have 9%? Well, they fudged the numbers so that they would have a good result. Okay? Mm-hmm. They purposely fudged the numbers so they would have a good result. I don't know how to say it any better than that.
That's the best way to say it, because we're just getting the facts out here. Because you know what? I am going to make sure that this audio goes far and wide with my medical professional friends. And I want them to hear this. I want to hear this side of it. I want them to know the numbers and really just listen to you and get the message.
Let's send it to every student club of every medical school in the world. That'll get the information out. Let's go to the books, Hell's Kitchen, and the CD, Hell's Kitchen. The CD came out in 2003. The book came out in 2005. And the subtitle was The Cause, Prevention, and Cure of Obesity, Diabetes, Metabolic Syndrome, which includes kidney failure, obesity, things like kidney disease and so on, heart disease. And so why was that going on? Well, at this point, the number of people dying from, let's see here, was COVID-2, MERS, SARS, and H1N1 was very high in the Latino and Black and Native American populations. Okay? And then that's okay. And that's when I came out with my stuff, and that's why I got that Klaus Schwartz Award. Okay? I'm very proud of that. And you go backwards to 1918. Let's go to 1918, right after the First World War. We had the Spanish flu. In the United States alone, we had 657,000 people died in 2 years from the Spanish flu. And our worst month was October of 1918, where we had 195,000 Americans die of the Spanish flu. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's because at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, Thomas Edison, pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant. Within 20 years, everybody had converted from wood stoves to electricity in the industrialized world. Well, what did people do with their wood ashes when we were still using wood stoves prior to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882? What were people doing with their wood ashes every day?
They were putting them out in the garden, because I remember doing it in the middle of the winter, and it blew back up in my face a few times.
Yeah. Well, we would put the wood ashes in our gardens. We put the wood ashes in our food, because wood ashes were a mineral supplement, because when you burn wood, you burn the carbohydrate, you burn the wood, right? But you didn't burn the minerals that the tree had sucked up out of the ground. So you put them in the garden, you put them in your food, and you got minerals that way. When we switched to electricity, people would say, well, what do I do for vitamins and minerals now, doc? And the medical doctor would say, don't worry about it. Just eat well. You're getting everything you need just by eating well. Don't waste your money on supplements. Doctors would tell them that proactively. Do not waste your money on supplements. Just eat well. You're going to get everything you need. And so that's why all this stuff happened, because we stopped using the minerals in the wood ashes as a supplement and went to nothing. And I blame it all on the medical system. And I think I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume it was just ignorance. Because if they did it purposely to get all those patients, then they all need to go to jail. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, they do.
And black gene lies. Okay. I helped Andy Young, great mayor of Atlanta, one of the generals for Martin Luther King Jr., for the civil rights movement, Andy Young, and he was going in for double knee replacement. And I said, no, give me 90 days. So I gave him 90 days. He gave me 90 days, and I rebuilt his knees. He was so excited about that. He began to introduce me to people all over the world. And we started using it in a guy, a pastor, Creflo Dollar from Atlanta, Georgia. Have you ever heard of Pastor Creflo Dollar from Atlanta, Georgia?
Absolutely. I've watched him several times. Yes.
Okay. Well, he contacted me after we did the news release of Andy Young. He said, well, can you help my daughter? You know, she's terminal. She's in the hospital now. She only got weeks to live. She's 11 years old. They said she was born with a genetic disease of black kids. And so tell me what it is and so forth. Well, it was essentially just kind of a muscular dystrophy kind of thing. And so I said, give me 90 days. He says, he doesn't have 90 days. Okay, I'll overnight this to you. I sent him a healthy brain and heart pack, and he gave it to her. In 2 weeks' time, she was cured. After 11 years going downhill and dying and all that kind of stuff, she has a bunch of beautiful grandbabies now for Pastor Dollar. And he said, now, what about all these other diseases said to be genetic in the black people? I said, well, none of them are genetic. He said, you got to give a lecture to my church. So I gave a lecture to his church, and he recorded it, and that's the CD, Black Gene Lies, and the book came out. We go into the main diseases said to be genetic in the black population, like heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease, lung disease, Alzheimer's disease, all these various things that are supposed to be arthritis and so on in the black community, supposed to be genetic. And we began to treat, all of his people in his church, and they all got better. And so he paid for the first 10,000 copies of the book Black Gene Lies to be published, the first 10,000 copies of the CD to be published. And so they go around the world now because of Pastor Creflo Dollar.
That's outstanding. And you know what? A lot of people have no idea about that. Again, it's something that everyone, every student, every medical professional should know those things right now. To get your books and your CDs, we should put that out there. Dr. The letter J, Wallach, WALLACH.com, and you can get all of Dr. Wallach's books and CDs. And there's how many are on there now, Dr. Wallach?
Okay. I have, let's see here. I have 13 books. I have over 120 CDs and over 50-something DVDs. My latest book, It's All in Your Head, where I look at 25 different diseases you get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. 25 different diseases you get from just having osteoporosis of the skull that doctors never talk about. And then, of course, I have another one coming out here pretty soon. It has to do with all of the, again, it's a supplement to the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran, and all of the holy books of China and India, okay? And it's called The Greatest Stories Ever Told. Not the greatest story ever told, but the greatest stories ever told. And then it goes into the millions of people who are helped by preventing and reversing all these diseases. They're simply nutritional deficiencies as opposed to genetic diseases. So that's going to be a big seller, I know. We're working on it into the final stages now. By June of this year, we should have it out. Okay? And it's called The Greatest Stories Ever Told.
That's great. I love that title. What a nice little twist on one that's out there. That's great. You and I have one coming out as well. But I don't know if we totally agreed on that title yet, so we've got that coming. Okay. Did you want to talk about anything else? Otherwise, I've got a few clients I want to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's let them ask some questions. Yeah. Let's answer some questions because we only have about 15 minutes left.
Okay. I have a young man. He is 21 years of age. 160 pounds, 5'8". He suffers from chronic fatigue syndrome and some nut allergies.
Okay, that's very easy. Stay away from nuts.
Okay.
Whether they're two-legged or come in a shell.
Okay.
Then he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar. And then I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 of those with each meal. They are the nutrients that actually support and promote maintenance repair and replacement of ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, cartilage, bone matrix, bone itself, muscle, walls of arteries and veins, kind of thing, and supports the immune system in the bone marrow. And so wouldn't hurt from also to have the de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day, it'd be 2 bottles a month. And then also I'd have him take our immortalium. Take 3 of those twice a day. Immortalium is really for the stem cells to make all the new healthy cells. It's very specific things that are required by cells, by stem cells to replicate themselves.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, I have, let's see, a gal who is 5'2", 140 pounds, 55 years of age. She suffers from an autoimmune. She has kidney issues, muscle pain, bedridden, migraines, memory loss, and a Hashimoto's as well.
Which is thyroid. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so number one, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, oats. So she's describing the perfect gluten scenario here. So no wheat, rye, oats, and no sugar. And then she said she weighed 102?
140.
100, maybe she's 5'2". I know there's a 2 something in there.
That's correct.
Okay, 140 pounds, yeah. Well, I want her to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. Okay. Then I also want her to have our immortalium. Again, 3 of those twice a day, be 2 bottles a month, so she can support her stem cells in her bone marrow and all her tissues to make new healthy cells. I want her to have our ultimate daily classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to help her with her kidneys, her memory. Because when you have kidney issues, it's almost always the arteries are plugged in the kidneys. When you have memory issues, there's like 13 different memory issues, including artery problems in the brain. So she needs 3 of the ultimate daily classic tablets, so she can take 3 of those with each meal and support maintenance repair of the arteries all over her body. And then she needs the de-stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day. There's another form of dementia that's caused by those deficiencies, so 2 bottles a month of that. And let's go there, okay? That's a lot to start. And she can have a rebound if she wants an energy drink. She can have a rebound, our sports drink. And, of course, THEO Ratliff, great famous basketball player whose career was ended because he, fractured and his knees were totally bad, and they wanted to do knee operations on him. And so they took away his contract at the Atlanta Hawks. And, he's only like 23 years old or something like that. And we got him on our program. And in just a couple of months, he gets a $30 million contract, and he played 12 more years.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, I always love that. Okay, that story about THEO Ratliff, and I was talking with an athlete the other night and was telling him about that, and he was blown away by it. So I always got to bring that one up. Okay, I have another young man, 32 years of age, 140 pounds, 5'9". Says he was overdosed on vaccines. He gave the story about how he had changed schools and he had to get the same ones 2-3 times in a row, and gets fatty pockets up in his head. He says that they're almost like horns in different spots. And he says, what can I do to stop that?
Okay. Well, you said he weighed 140 pounds?
Correct.
Okay. Well, he needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, oats, no sugar. And then I want him to have 2 of our healthy brain and heart packs. That's our big hammer in our toolbox. 2 healthy brain and heart packs, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get our ultimate daily classic tablets. He can take 3 of those twice a day. That will support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And then I want him to, let's see here, have our killer biotic. I want him to have 3 of those with each meal. That'll be 3 bottles a month. And that'll help his body get rid of the blockages and plaque in his arteries and veins and all that kind of stuff, whether it's in his brain, his heart, his kidneys, his blood vessels anywhere in his body. And so let's start there, okay? And, these people need to keep in touch with us every 2 weeks and tell us what's going on. but they got to get rid of the bad stuff so they can absorb these nutrients. If they just take the nutrients and don't change their diet, they're not going to see anything and say, well, we tried that Wallach thing and it didn't work. Well, they got to get rid of all the bad stuff so their intestines heal so they can absorb the stuff.
Okay. Do we have something that actually does take care of aluminum poisoning or, too much mercury in the body from these vaccines?
Okay, well, here's what I want people to do. If they believe they have some kind of toxicity, whether it's aluminum or lead or mercury or whatever it might be, I want them to, get the book Rare Earths Vin Cures, and it'll teach them in Chapter 10, 11 how to get a hair analysis, where to ship it. Be sure to put the check in with it because we're not a credit card number, because we're not going to run it without being paid in advance, because we have to pay for the test. And one of the things we look at are all these toxic metals. And so we can tell them, so they're not guessing, because we have specific approaches to deal with individual toxic metals, which can interfere with memory and all kinds of things and cause heart disease and kidney disease and artery disease and so forth. And so if you have those things, it's worth, I think, it's $100 and something bucks, $120, $130, whatever it is. You can get the, let's see here, the book, Rare Earths Vin Cures, and you can get the book, again, I go with Rare Earths Vin Cures, and it tells you how to collect your hair, how to package it, where to ship it, and so forth, and we will run the test for you. We do this literally thousands of times a month from people all over the world who want to know the answer to those questions. But you can't tell by looking at somebody. You have to actually do the analyses of the hair, which is kind of like a barometer of what good and bad minerals you have in your body, or if you're absorbing it all. You get all that information. And if you have a longevity business, as part of your business plan for your longevity business, you say that, your longevity business is going to pay for your health care, your laboratory work, and all that kind of stuff. So the hair analysis is a tax-deductible item if you do the longevity business as a business and you, do all these, your annual physical, hair analysis once every 6 months or something like that. It'll tell the toxic metals. It'll tell you what minerals you're missing. It'll tell you if you have a problem with absorption, all that kind of stuff. So it's worth the money. It's worth. I get a hair analysis every year, and it's worth it to see what's going on, so you know exactly what to do. You're not guessing.
Okay. All right. I have one more, Dr. Wallach. It is a woman, 5'5". Hang on, she's sending me her age. 54
so she's way
years
over town.
She's 5'5", 54 years of age, and 125 pounds, and she suffers from fibroids.
Okay. Well, again, these are all nutritional deficiency diseases. She's got to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran, no sugar. At 135 pounds, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, 135 pounds. I'd have her go with one Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month. I'd have her get another bottle of our selenium with the 5 other cofactors. There's one bottle of that selenium with that Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. I also want her again, I want her to take some antioxidants. I want her to take the Cell Shield RTQ. I want her to take our, let's see here, take the, what's your favorite antioxidant in our products?
Well, I don't know if it falls into it, but Immortalium I love. We have another one that's in a, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Immortalium is a good one. You go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, be sure to take those, supplemented seleniums, 3 of those twice a day. And doesn't hurt. All this stuff, including fibroids, will go away. These are all free radical damages from eating fried foods and all the bad stuff and not taking any good stuff to protect yourself.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to throw in one more thing here, Dr. Wallach. The gentleman that I sat with yesterday, I know that he deals with bone issues when he goes into these operating rooms. Again, he's not the surgeon, but those are some of the things that they're dealing with. address just bone issues, bone and joint cartilage. You know, a lot of people think that can't grow back. There's a lot of grafting and things that they do for different reasons. And I know that go ahead.
What are you going to say? We have a lot of famous people, everybody from Andrew Young, you know, the great civil rights leader and the mayor of Atlanta and so forth. We rebuilt his knees. He was supposed to have a double knee replacement, and he gave me 90 days. I regrew his knees in just a couple of weeks. He was so excited. But we do this in professional athletes, and it's very economical. We're talking a couple of bucks a day here, and you can regrow cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and so nobody should suffer. You know, I'm 82 years old, and I don't have any degenerative cartilage or ligament or tendon diseases. I don't have any connective tissue diseases in my veins and arteries. I don't have any connective tissue or muscle diseases, and because I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for, let's see here, 77 going on 78 years. Okay? And so it's one of those things where if you give your body the raw materials to maintain itself, I mean, do people just put dirt from Texas in their car? There's bound to be some oil in it? No, they put oil in their car to protect the engine. They'll get 30,000 miles out of their engine. Okay? But if they just put dirt from Texas in there, they might not get 1,000 miles. Okay? Okay? And same way with your food. You can't just depend on the food because plants only need 3 elements from the soil. Okay? If you look at the fertilizers, that farmers buy, they only have 3 elements in them. And so that's why the farmers have to buy all these supplements to give their animals, because you can't get them from the food anymore. And if you want to add 30 years to 50 years to your life, you got to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients, because plants only need 3 elements from the soil to make good seeds for the next generation. You cannot depend, well, I eat organic. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Organic just means no sprays. It doesn't mean good nutrition.
Okay, Dr. Wallach, I think it's a good place to end. I thank you so much for all this incredible information. And for those that want to reach out to me, again, Naturopathic Dr. Randi Shannon. Phone number that follows me all over the world is 319-804-9163. That's my Google Voice number, 319-804-9163. I can pick up messages anywhere, or you can email me at helpfromthedoc, DOC, at gmail.com, helpfromthedoc@gmail.com, and of course the website thebodycan, CAN, or thebodycan.com. And if anybody wants an appointment, they can just hit the schedule button and set their time, and we'll have a conversation. Dr. Wallach, thank you so much. And
thank you so much, Dr. Randi. You're fabulous as usual, and we appreciate all of your listeners and all the people who participate with you to get this message out there. And, I'm always available to you and your team. God bless you, and have a great day.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.